Hey guys, it's Victoria and welcome back to FemmeHead. Today I want to talk about being vegan at Thanksgiving family get-togethers because it's kind of inevitable, and this applies for all veg people, whether you are vegan or vegetarian, or if you have any sort of like dietary restrictions. Basically, if you're not eating what everyone else is eating. And I'm surprised I have not made this video yet in my life because I have a lot of advice to offer. It's all gonna be okay is what I want to say. If you're like a new vegan vegetarian and you're worried about going to a family gathering, it's gonna be okay. I've got 10 tips to share with you today. These tips aren't in any particular order, and there are probably other great tips out there, and you can do a quick search online. So my first tip is to bring a dish to share or for yourself. You know your family, you know what your family prepares, and most of the time it's the same exact thing year to year. I don't know about your family, but I feel like there's the staple Thanksgiving dishes, Christmas dishes that are made every single year. And so you know what to expect. And so you can use that knowledge to prepare. And if you're not quite sure what's going to be on the menu for that year, give your mother or whoever's hosting a call and just ask about the dishes. And then you can either bring a main dish, or if you're more of a side dish person like myself, you could bring a side dish or two. I always suggest making extra so that you can put it out there and other people can share it. When I first made the switch, I would always bring a dish that I could eat to my grandma's house. There was a few times where it was either my mom or my brother that asked to make me a dish, or they offered to make me a dish, which I thought was really cool. And there was a period of time where I think my brother was also vegetarian and my mom was also vegetarian at one point. That played to my favor. So if you do have other people in your family that are veg, kind of gang up together and say, what are we gonna bring this year? Tip number 2 is to ask them to make a portion of certain dishes without adding the meat or the cheese, because there are so many dishes that can be really easily made vegetarian or vegan simply by just not adding like a topping or an ingredient. I think of like salads, side dishes, mashed potatoes, and people are usually more than willing to separate a portion. Depending on who it is and how comfortable you feel asking them, you could say, hey grandma, do you mind just making the mashed potatoes, but just pulling out a portion of it before you put the butter and the milk in. Tip number 3 is to not make a big deal out of it. You know what to prepare yourself. You usually know what's going to be served, and don't feel like you have to go in there ready to fight a battle for yourself to explain your beliefs or any of that. Go in there as you normally do and eat what you want to eat, and don't feel like you have to explain yourself to anyone. Tip number 4 is don't judge other people for eating animal products. You are not going to convert everyone in your life to eating the way you do, and that is fine. You are going to influence and inspire those around you. It's okay if people want to eat those things, even if you don't eat them for certain reasons. I have never sneered or scoffed at someone for what was on their plate. I've been very conscious of never putting my judgment or making those around me feel judged for what they eat. I honestly, I don't care what they eat. It's my choice to eat what I want to eat, and it's their choice to eat what they want to eat. And I know that it's not my job to convert everyone. There's certain vegans out there that if they feel like it is their job to convert everyone, whatever makes you feel happy. Tip number 5 kind of goes along with that one, but don't offer unsolicited advice. Just like going in and not making a big deal out of it, don't feel like you have to tell people why what they're eating is unhealthy for them, or be like, oh my god, I can't believe you're eating all that butter, or ugh, that turkey. Like, the only time I ever share about being vegan is when people ask me questions about it. Even if it's kind of rude or snide, like, well, where do you get your protein? I know my answers for those things, and even if I don't have the answers for certain things, I just say, I eat what I like to eat and you eat what you like to eat, and that's kind of that. Tip number 6, if someone offers to make you a vegan dish, be visibly grateful for it. I guess this is where I can talk about last year. I have been vegan for, this will be my 6th Christmas. The first one didn't go so well. I've talked about that before, but last year was a beautiful thing. My mother-in-law made Michael and I separate dishes of everything, even though I told her, like, please do not go out of your way and make us particular dishes. We will find what we can eat there. A vegan roast, vegan stuffing, vegan potatoes, like all these different vegan dishes. And last year, my mom and my brother made all of the side dishes, except for the turkey, vegan. And like, you know, that's just what everyone ate, and it was fine. It was super cool. And I was so just grateful for both situations. Sooner or later, your family is going to understand, you know, the different ingredients you do and don't eat. People are really confused about cheese at first, or milk or butter. Forget that certain things aren't vegan. Just be patient, don't have expectations, and people will surprise you. Tip number 7, unless someone offers to, don't go in expecting specially made vegan dishes for yourself. Don't expect to show up to family Thanksgiving and have things vegan, even if you've told people that you are vegan. I always tell people, don't worry about it. I will be able to find something to eat. You'd be surprised. There's always something for me to eat. And unless they offer to make a dish, I always tell them not to worry about it. And I never, ever, ever show up with expectations that there's going to be something that I can eat. Tip number 8, agree to disagree. I have a really cool family, and they've always been cool with the fact that I'm vegan or vegetarian when I was vegetarian, and they've never made me feel bad about it or really questioned me about it. My brother-in-law like jokes with me sometimes about it, but in a loving way, and I know he doesn't care. My dad is one of those people that really believes that you need to eat meat to survive, and that's fine. Thankfully, I don't really have any unruly relatives, but I know they exist. So don't feel like you have to get into an argument with someone. Just go, hey, we can just agree to disagree. I'll do what works for me and you can do what works for you. Tip number 9. This applies to like being vegan in general, I believe. Instead of saying, no, I can't eat that, I'm vegan, just say, no, thank you. Or just simply pass it past you to the person next to you at the dinner table. And I do this in restaurants too. I do this everywhere. I feel like it can come off really snobby and greater than you when you're like, I can't eat that, I'm vegan. I never say I'm vegan, I just say, oh no, I don't want any of that, thank you though, and just move right along. Tip number 10, if all else fails and you forget to prepare something, or you forget to ask them to make a portion of a dish without butter or milk or meat, there is no harm in eating before you go, or eating when you leave, depending on like the timing of it. If I know I'm gonna be showing up to a place, even if it's last minute and I go, crap, I know there's not gonna be anything for me to eat there, I will stop along the way and pick up some food or eat something that I have at home before I go, and then I'll just snack on the vegetable tray or whatever it is there that I can eat when I know that there's not going to be enough to fill me up to the place I want to be. Those are the 10 tips. I know there are others, so if you have any good tips for those new veg people out there going to their first family gathering or maybe their second family gathering, the last one didn't go so well, offer those down below. Thankfully, I have been blessed with lovely people who surround me that are very accommodating. I think I've just been this way for so long that they just have like been like, yeah, it's just Victoria and we have to accept that, and why not just make it easier for all of us. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like this topic, hit that thumbs up button. I think it's a thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe to FemmeHead for more of me, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye. The snowman was a something, 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 and a something, something, and a something, 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 something.